Painting a complex flower like a chrysanthemum is a lot of fun. I'm going to show you how I did it. For this oil painting, I used just 6 colors, and they are magenta, permanent rose, phthalo blue, Hansa yellow light, Indian yellow, and titanium white. I'm also going to be using an ampersand gessoed panel to paint on. My method is to start with transparent colors. Now the Hansa yellow is a semi-transparent, and of course titanium white is opaque, so I'm not going to use it until a little bit later. I'm trying to apply my paint in general patterns that I see. I am not being too fussy with the shapes, although I'm trying to get a similar shape. And I'm also going a little bit darker in value with all of this to start with. And you'll see how I change that as I go. You can see here what I mean by my general shapes. I should tell you a little bit about my reference picture. I actually took that photo myself from a little bouquet of flowers that I brought home, and that's what has inspired me to do this painting. I think you can tell what I mean by going a little bit darker on my values than what is actually there. But don't worry, we're going to lighten those values in just a moment. Here you can see that I felt like I had gone a little too yellow in that section. I used a Q-tip to kind of take away a little bit of that paint, which is a great thing about the ampersand gesso panel. You can kind of remove the paint pretty easily. Well, up until now we've been using just the transparent paints, except the Hansa yellow light is semi-transparent, but that's all we've used, no white yet. I have covered my entire surface with the paint, and now I'm going to be using this wipeout tool. I got it on Amazon and it's really valuable. You can use it, I use this tip of it, to mostly draw in the edges of the things that you want to make sure you get right. So here I am using the wipeout tool to kind of draw the petals in general that I see in the chrysanthemum. Can I draw every single petal? Well, no, but I can draw a lot of them. And then I can also use that wipeout tool to lighten areas. And you'll see me doing that in just a few minutes. After I have my edges drawn in, then I can actually use my titanium white. And I'm going to be mixing it with my other colors to get some of the background things correctly shown in their more correct values. So you can see that I have gone in with a lighter tone of the yellow in places. I've also gone in with a lighter tone of the blue in places, and I'm kind of sculpting around those edges a little bit to create the shape of the flowers. To get some of the darker tones that are down in between the petals, I've mixed just a tiny bit of the phthalo blue with the magenta and or the rose, and just putting some of that in. You can see that it's a little spotty right now, but we'll be working on that to get that corrected. The reference picture really does show where those darker areas go. And I put them in, but I'm not done. I am lightening up some of those really yellowy areas. They will not stay that way, but they are going to get some titanium white added in with the yellow in order to lighten those colors. You'll see that change a little bit more as I complete this picture. It's important to note that I'm not adding white, titanium white, directly onto the painting. I'm always mixing that with colors, even in the little white flower at the back there. It's mixed together. I'm using the wipeout tool again, and I am actually creating the highlights on each of the petals, or maybe not each, but almost all of them. I'm creating the highlight. You can see how many highlights there are in the reference picture. Those are just lighter areas, and I'm using that wipeout tool to just take away some of the paint. What has happened is that the paint has left the tint of that color on the gesso panel, so it will not be completely white. It'll be a lighter version of the color I've applied to it. After a few more finishing touches, here is its finished version. And here it is as a framed painting. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I created this. You can find out more about this painting at my website, HelenCReed.com.